everyone, welcome back to more of the Pokemon Crystal Nuzlocke. Last time we got our 8th gym badge, so now we're heading off to the Pokemon League. I leveled up some of my underleveled Pokemon off-screen and a couple of them evolved. But moving on, I find a Gligar on Route 45. Not the most useful since it can't evolve, but we'll take it. And I catch it. We can head back south to Route 46 and end up back where we started this whole adventure, which leads back to Route 29, which leads way back to the very start of the game. So we can talk to the professor and he gives us our one and only Master Ball. Too bad we can't take the last starter Pokemon left behind. Teach Gyarados Waterfall here, click Surf, and we can take our first steps into Kanto, like this guy here tells us. Skipping ahead a bit, we can finally catch a Slowpoke in the Tojo Falls. And on Route 27, we successfully catch a Doduo. So after a few too many trainer battles, I head back to a Pokemon Center to heal up and add our new Doduo to the team. After which, it quickly evolves into a Dodrio. Moving on back, skipping over some more trainer fights, I come across this random pond and wonder why they put it there, but that's not important. Forgetting about that, we can confirm that we do have all of the Johto badges as the guard lets us pass, and we can head into Victory Road. This Victory Road is a bit weird because there's no trainers whatsoever besides the last rival battle. It just ends up being pretty much nothing but walking through a boring cave until the end. But on the plus side, we can pick up one more encounter here, a Rhyhorn, which we also successfully catch. But nothing noteworthy later, we do hit the previously mentioned rival fight. So Silver leads with Sneasel as we lead with Dodrio, so probably not the best matchup, but I decide to stay in anyways and use Fly as it does about 75%. All Sneasel does in return is land a pitiful Fury Cutter. I respond with a Tri-Attack to finish Sneasel off. Second out is Magneton and I realize it's not good for Dodrio, so I swap out into Graveler on a Thunder Wave. Magneton then proceeds to miss Sonic Boom as I one-shot with Magnitude. Out next is Feraligatr, which is a huge threat for Graveler, so I swap out into Gyarados as it uses Water Gun. Why it doesn't have a stronger move this late in the game is beyond me. I go for Thrash, it goes for Slash. And we repeat that over again. But a third Thrash takes out the Feraligatr. Next out is Golbat as Gyarados gets confused from using Thrash, so I could switch to Graveler, but instead I swap out into Piloswine so it can have a chance to shine. Golbat hits a weak Wing Attack into a Confuse Ray as we hit ourselves. After another Wing Attack, we land a Powder Snow just to see that it doesn't really do all that much. We trade more hits, another Wing Attack, another Powder Snow, and at this point Piloswine is getting weak, so I swap out. I decide to give Sudowoodo a shot since he hasn't really been used much before. Wing Attack only deals 9 damage to it. Golbat uses Bite, no flinch, and Sudowoodo hits back with a hard Rock Slide that KOs the Golbat. Fifth out is Haunter. I swap out to Graveler since the Haunter doesn't have Levitate because it's Gen 2. Haunter hits a weak physical Shadow Ball that we shrug off easily. Haunter puts a Curse as we knock it out with Magnitude. His last Pokemon is Kadabra, so I swap out into Granbull and land a Shadow Ball to knock it out instantly. And with that, the last rival battle of Johto is finished. So now the time has come to step into the Pokemon League. But first we can head left to pick up the Earthquake TM. And with that, we can head into the Pokemon League for real this time. So before I continue, I have to say something. The rare candy hack I had been using to level up quickly ended up filling my item slots with garbage and it always said my bag was full. I decided here I needed to fix this so I could be able to use potions in between battles in the Elite Four. So I tried to fix it, but I somehow ended up deleting my entire save file. So I spent a good few hours trying to get a new save file as close as possible to how it is now. Not everything is perfect, but I made it as close as possible to what it's been the whole time, so I hope that's not too big of a deal. I leveled everything up a bunch on the new save file since there's a decent level gap before the champion, and Graveler finally got to evolve into Golem. So with that, nothing left to do but to head into the Elite Four. First up is Will, who uses Psychic types. He leads with Xatu as I send out Granbull. Xatu uses Confuse Ray and I just end up hitting myself. Next turn Xatu uses Psychic and gets a critical hit to get Granbull deep into the red, and we break through Confusion to knock out Xatu with a Shadow Ball. Second out is Jinx, so since Granbull is low I swap out into Slowbro on a Psychic. Jinx misses Double Slap as I use Amnesia to boost my special defense stat. Jinx uses Psychic again for not much damage, and I use Headbutt to deal half. Another Headbutt later, Jinx goes down. Third up is Exeggutor. Exeggutor sets up Reflect, and my Headbutt doesn't do much damage. We trade hits for a while, nothing was really doing much damage, but eventually a not very effective Surf takes out Exeggutor. The second Xatu comes out next. It hits a couple of really weak Psychics, and then it goes down to a couple more Surfs. Will's last Pokemon is his own Slowbro, leading into a mirror match. I land a Headbutt, and Slowbro sets up an Amnesia of his own. I switch out to Gyarados as Slowbro uses Curse, so now both of its physical and special defenses are boosted. I use Thrash as he sets up another Curse. Thrash continues as Slowbro keeps setting up curses. Slowbro hits a +3 Body Slam for a bit over a third, and we hit ourselves in confusion. Gyarados gets hit to 24 HP, so I swap out into Golem to take the Body Slam. Golem can finally finish off Slowbro with an Earthquake, so with that, the first of the Elite Four is down. Second up is Koga, the Poison-type trainer. He leads with Ariados, and I lead with Golem. I use Earthquake, and Ariados reveals that it has a 4-time super effective move in Giga Drain, so that kind of freaked me out until I realized that it only did just under half. So I can finish it off with another Earthquake. I spam another Earthquake and get a critical hit to knock Fortress into the red, but it only sets up a layer of spikes. I use another Earthquake and Fortress goes down. Muck comes out, but it just goes down to a single critical hit Earthquake. Venomoth comes out, and yeah, one more Earthquake and it just goes down. Last out is Crobat. It uses Double Team, and I use Rollout. Crobat uses another Double Team, but somehow we connect with another Rollout to take out Crobat, thus sweeping his entire team with only a Golem. That's 2 Elite Four members down. Third member of the Elite Four is the Fighting-type trainer Bruno. He leads with Hitmontop as I send out Slowbro. Hitmontop outspeeds and starts to use Dig. Slowbro takes less than 10% from Dig though, so I follow up with a Confusion doing 2/3. Hitmontop goes up for another Dig, and then I take it out after that. Hitmonchan comes out second, and so I decide to stay in. Hitmonchan uses Thunder Punch, and despite it being super effective, it does almost nothing since Thunder Punch is special in this game. So another Confusion knocks out the Hitmonchan. The third and final Hitmon comes out, Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee only uses Double Kick twice, not doing much damage, and 2 more Confusions faint it. Fourth out is Bruno's highest level Pokemon, Machamp. I swap out into Dodrio here as Machamp misses a Cross Chop, and I retaliate with a super effective Drill Peck. Last Pokemon out is Onix. I decide to stay in with Dodrio, but I realize that isn't really a good idea, so I swap out. Golem takes a weak Rock Slide, and Earthquake knocks out the Onix, winning this battle. The fourth and final Elite Four member is the Dark-type user Karen. Karen leads with Umbreon as I send out my Granbull. Granbull uses Strength, and Umbreon decides to be annoying and use Sand Attack. I hit another Strength, and Umbreon hits a light Feint Attack. Miraculously, I hit another Strength from my lowered accuracy and knock out Umbreon. Vileplume is out second, so I swap into Dodrio as Vileplume misses a Stun Spore. Dodrio's Fly one-shots the Vileplume from there. Next out is Gengar, so I use Fly. It doesn't one-shot, but all Gengar does is use Spite, so I took care of it pretty easily. Fourth up is Murkrow, but it's a Murkrow, so it goes down to 1 Tri-Attack. Karen's final Pokemon is Houndoom, so I use Tri-Attack and Houndoom hits a very hard Flamethrower. I swap into Gyarados on another Flamethrower, which doesn't do much, so I can just take it out with a Surf. So that's it. All of the Elite Four has been taken out. All that remains is one final battle against the champion. So we walk into the champion room, and Lance talks about stuff, and then the battle starts. Lance sends out Gyarados, and I send out Granbull. Gyarados sets up Rain Dance as I use Strength for about half. Gyarados hits a Rain-boosted Surf for surprisingly only about half, while I knock out Gyarados with another Strength. Lance's first of 3 Dragonites comes out next, and misses a Hyper Beam as Strength does about a third. I switch Granbull into Golem to take Hyper Beam for only 27 damage. I start to use Rollout on Dragonite's recharge turn for another third. Dragonite uses another Twister as I knock out the first Dragonite with another Rollout. The second Dragonite comes out next, and since I'm locked into Rollout, I can't switch out, and Dragonite uses Blizzard, finishing off Golem. Despite losing a longtime team member, now isn't the time to mourn. I send out Slowbro next. Dragonite hits a light twister as I use Amnesia for the special defense boost. Dragonite uses Hyper Beam, hitting me into the yellow, as Headbutt doesn't do much. I realize Slowbro isn't doing much damage, so I swap into Piloswine on the Dragonite's recharge turn. Dragonite uses Twister for light damage as I use Powder Snow, actually getting the freeze. I use Powder Snow again as the second Dragonite gets knocked out. Fourth out is Charizard, so I swap into Gyarados on a Flamethrower. I use Surf for 2/3 as Charizard uses Slash for a decent chunk of damage. Another Surf knocks out the Charizard. Fifth out is Aerodactyl. I stay in with Gyarados as Aerodactyl uses Rock Slide for a huge chunk of damage, knocking me down to 11 HP, and then we flinch, which ends up killing off Gyarados. I swap into Granbull next, and I kinda panicked and clicked Strength on accident. I get a bit frustrated and use a Hyper Potion on Granbull as Aerodactyl uses Wing Attack. Aerodactyl uses Ancient Power, thankfully not boosting all of its stats as we Shadow Ball for good damage. Aerodactyl realizes that he's low on HP, so uses the Hail Mary Hyper Beam, but Granbull survives on 9 HP and finishes off Aerodactyl. One Pokemon left. Last out is Lance's final Pokemon, his level 50 Dragonite. I make the tough decision to let Granbull go here to an Outrage. I bring in Slowbro next thinking it can take an Outrage, but it didn't. I bring in Piloswine as Dragonite becomes confused, but then it reveals that it has Fire Blast ending Piloswine. So at this point all I have left is my Dodrio versus a full health Dragonite, so it isn't looking very good. And a Tri-Attack, it's looking like a 3-hit KO, but then Tri-Attack paralyzes Dragonite, maybe that could be my lucky break. And then the Hyper Beam comes out. We survive the Hyper Beam on 19 HP, and we can take out the Dragonite on its recharge turn, winning the battle and the entire Nuzlocke. So with that, we win, and it could not have been a closer battle. So we can get entered into the Hall of Fame, and then the credits roll. So that may seem like that's it for Pokemon Crystal, but in these games, after the credits roll, there's another region we can go to. So I will be making one last video of going through Kanto in the coming weeks. And with that, the series that started my channel will soon be complete. Thank you all for watching this series, and I will see you in the next video. But for now, I'll let the rest of the credits play out.